You know that moment when the world tilts just a fraction off its axis? When the laughter in a room full of loved ones suddenly feels like the last echo before a storm? That's how it started for me, Captain Elena Vasquez, 15 years in Naval Intelligence, trained to spot threats in the shadows of classified ops from the Persian Gulf to the South China Sea. I've stared down pirates off the Horn of Africa, decrypted enemy chatter that saved my team's lives, and walked away from briefings where one wrong word could unravel alliances. But nothing prepared me for the call that came on my mother's 65th birthday, right as the candles flickered low. My husband, Lieutenant Commander Alex Rivera, my rock, the man who'd pulled me from the surf during our first joint training exercise off Coronado, his voice cut through the line like a knife through fog. "Elena, get our daughter. Take her and run. Now. Don't look back. No explanation. No, I love you." Just static, and then silence. My hand trembled on the phone, the screen blurring as I glanced at little Sophia, our 7-year-old firecracker with her father's dark curls and my unyielding gaze, giggling over cake with Abuela in the kitchen. How do you snatch your child from joy and plunge into the unknown? In that instant, every instinct I'd honed in the Navy, the ones that kept me alive when intel said, abort, but gut said, push, screamed the same thing, move. Because if Alex Rivera was calling like that, the shadows weren't just closing in. They were already here. Let me take you back, because to understand the terror of that night, you have to know the man who became my anchor, and the life we built on the fragile line between duty and devotion. Alex and I met in 2012, during a classified joint op in the Gulf. I was the intel officer on the USS Arleigh Burke, piecing together satellite feeds and SIGINT intercepts that painted a picture of Iranian fast boats probing our carrier group. He was the tip of the spear, a DEVGRU operator, call sign Ghost, slipping through moonless waters to tag targets before they could fire. Our paths crossed in the briefing room, me laying out the grid on a digital map, him leaning in with that quiet intensity, eyes like polished obsidian, asking, "Captain, if we hit here, what's the blowback on the civvies?" It wasn't love at first sight. It was respect, the kind forged in the crucible of command. He saw the woman behind the bars on my shoulders, the one who'd clawed her way up from a barrio in San Diego, enlisting at 18 to escape the echo of gunshots that took her father. I saw the boy from Miami's Little Havana who'd lost his squad to an IED in Fallujah, channeling grief into precision that made him untouchable. We didn't date, not really, Navy regs frown on that, but after the op, over lukewarm coffee in the wardroom, he slipped me a note, "Dinner and port?" No ranks, just us. I crumpled it, then smoothed it out. That night in Bahrain, under stars that felt too close, we talked, not about missions, but dreams. He wanted a family, a porch swing in Virginia where he could teach a kid to fish. I confessed my fear, that the uniform would swallow me whole, leaving no room for softness. By 2015, we were married in a quiet ceremony at Annapolis, me in dress whites, him in his civvies to dodge the brass. Sophia came 2 years later, a squalling bundle born during his deployment to Syria. I remember pacing the delivery room, phone glued to my ear as he whispered from some dust-choked FOB, "Push, mi amor. You're tougher than any storm I've swum." She had his fighter's cry and my stubborn latch. We settled in Norfolk, close to the base, a modest craftsman house with creaky floors and a backyard swing set that Alex built one rainy weekend, his hands calloused from breaching doors now hammering nails. Life wasn't perfect. His SEAL tours pulled him away for months, black ops in Yemen, hostage rescues in the Sahel, leaving me to juggle briefings and bedtime stories. I'd rock Sophia through nightmares, her tiny fists clutching my dog tags, murmuring tales of brave sailors who always came home. My own career kept me sharp, promotions to lieutenant commander, then full captain by 2020, leading cyber threat assessments against Chinese sub-incursions. But Alex? He transitioned out of active DEVGRU in 2021, taking a consulting gig with a shadowy DoD contractor, private sector, he called it, with a wink that didn't reach his eyes. Less sand in my boots, more time with you too. I bought it because I had to. In our world, questions could cost lives. Mom's birthday was meant to be a reset. October 15, 2023, leaves turning gold along the Chesapeake, air crisp with salt and promise. We'd driven down from Norfolk to her place in Yorktown, a cozy bungalow she'd bought after Dad's passing, filled with faded photos of me in boot camp, saluting with a grin too wide for the drill sergeant's liking. Abuela, that's Mom, Rosa Vasquez, retired Navy nurse who'd patched up Marines in Desert Storm, bustled in the kitchen, her laughter booming as she stirred arroz con pollo. Uncle Javier, my godfather and a crusty old Master Chief, regaled Sophia with exaggerated sea monster stories, complete with fin gestures that had her in stitches. The dining room glowed under the chandelier Mom insisted on, a relic from her honeymoon in Havana. Plates clattered, wine glasses tinkled, a 2018 Malbec Javier smuggled from his vineyard hobby. Sophia perched on a booster, her pigtails bouncing as she smeared frosting on her cheek. Abuela, can I have 2 pieces? Please. Mom's eyes twinkled, only if you promise to grow up strong like your mama. I caught Alex's gaze across the table. He'd arrived late, rumpled from a meeting in D.C., but his smile was genuine, the one that crinkled his scars. To family, he toasted earlier, clinking my glass a beat too long. The only mission that matters. Now, as the cake knife sliced through chocolate layers, my phone vibrated in my pocket, a low buzz, insistent. I fished it out, screen lighting up with Secure Line, AR. Alex's encrypted app, the one for emergencies only. My pulse quickened, protocols drilled into me since OCS, answer. Assess. Act. But here? Amid the warmth? I slipped into the hallway, past the gallery of frames, me at graduation, Alex in his trident ceremony, Sophia's first steps on the beach. Leaning against the wall, floral wallpaper cool on my back, I thumbed accept. Alex? Everything okay? His breath came ragged, like he'd run a mile underwater. Elena, where are you? At Mom's. The party's winding down. Sophia's got chocolate all over. Listen to me. The words sliced clean, no trace of the man who'd whispered poetry in Spanish during our honeymoon. Grab her. Take the back roads to the safe house in Richmond. Do not go home. Do not call anyone. They're watching. A chill spidered up my spine, colder than any Bering Sea patrol. Who's watching? Alex, talk to me, is this a drill? Your team's pulling some. No drill. A pause, muffled voices in the background, urgent, foreign. The drive in the glove box. It's everything. Trust it, not me. Not after tonight. The line crackled, then his voice dropped to a ghost. I love you both. Te amo, siempre. Click. The phone slipped from my fingers, clattering on the hardwood. My mind raced, threat matrices from 100 briefings flashing. Compromised asset? Internal leak? But Alex wasn't just an asset, he was my husband, the father who'd taught Sophia to salute the flag each dawn. The hallway spun, laughter from the dining room mocking me like distant thunder. Uncle Javier's bellow, Elena, chica. Cake's melting. I snatched the phone, palms slick. Sophia. Get Sophia. Bursting back in, I forced a smile, scooping her up mid-bite. Hey, Bug, time for a surprise adventure. Remember that game we play, spy mission? Her eyes widened, fork pausing. With Daddy's secret codes? Exactly. Grab your backpack, the one with the unicorn patch. Mom frowned, wiping her hands on her apron. Mija, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. Nothing, just, base alert. Alex needs me to check something quick. Lie slid out smooth, years of deception training kicking in. Uncle Javier eyed me sharp. He knew that tone from too many ops, but said nothing, just nodded once, slow. Sophia scampered off, chattering about laser swords, oblivious. I hugged Mom fierce, inhaling her lavender soap, committing it to memory. Love you. We'll call soon. Outside, the night air bit crisp, stars pricking the velvet sky like distant tracers. Our SUV hummed to life in the driveway. Sophia buckled in the back, clutching her stuffed seal, Senior Flippers, her talisman. I glanced in the rearview. Mom's porch light glowed warm, Uncle Javier's silhouette in the door, waving. Guilt twisted like a gut shot. As I pulled onto the winding lane, tires crunching gravel, headlights swept the mirrors, a dark sedan, idling at the corner, plates muddied. Coincidence? In my world, nothing was. Sophia piped up, Mama, where's the adventure? Are we picking up Daddy? Soon, mi vida. First, we drive fast and quiet. Sing that song about the brave little boat. Her voice trilled soft, off-key, filling the cabin as I punched the accelerator, heart hammering like rotors on a Black Hawk. The sedan didn't follow, or did it? Shadows played tricks, every curve hiding threats. 10 miles out, pulse steadying, I remembered the glove box. Fumbling one-handed, I popped it open. There, taped beneath the manual, a slim USB drive, matte black, no label. Wrapped around it, a scrap of paper in Alex's block print, for Elena only. Coordinates inside. If I don't make extraction by 6 o'clock, burn it all. Trust the tide, not the shore. The tide. Our code for go with gut, the Navy way when intel failed. Shore for brass, for orders that lied. My fingers tightened on the wheel. Whatever storm Alex had swum into, it was pulling us under too. The road unspooled like a decrypt feed, endless black ribbon under sodium lamps, flanked by pine thickets whispering secrets. Sophia dozed off 10 minutes in, her breaths even, thumb in mouth, a habit I'd broken her of, now grateful for the quiet. My mind churned, Alex's, consulting, vague briefs about risk assessment for offshore assets, trips to Cyprus and Dubai that left him hollow-eyed. Last week, he'd come home with a bruise blooming on his ribs, laughing it off as gym mishap. I'd pressed, gentle as a debrief, but he deflected, old war wounds flaring, Capitana. Nothing a kiss from you can't fix. Now, that evasion tasted like bile. 20 miles from Yorktown, the sky lit up behind us, a bloom of orange, violent and wrong. I slammed the brakes, tires screeching on the shoulder, gravel spraying. In the mirror, a pillar of fire clawed heavenward, smoke roiling black against the stars. Mom's house. Dios mío. The explosion's rumble rolled over us seconds later, low and guttural, shaking the SUV's frame. Sophia jolted awake, wailing, Mama. Earthquake? What's burning? Shoo, bug, it's okay. Lies choked me as I floored it again, the glow shrinking to a malevolent ember. Sirens wailed distant, closing in. My phone, I'd switched it to airplane mode per protocol, stayed dark. No texts from Mom, no frantic calls from Javier. Just the drive, humming its indifferent song. I white-knuckled the wheel, replaying Alex's words. They're watching. Who? Why torture retired nurses home? Mom had no enemies, unless they were mine. Or his. Dawn crept gray by the time we hit Richmond, the safe house, a nondescript apartment above a laundromat, one of Alex's, just in case, spots, stocked with burners, cash, and go bags from his SEAL days. I carried Sophia upstairs, her weight heavy in my arms, unlocked the deadbolt with the key under the mat. Inside, Spartan, smelling of dust and instant coffee. Air mattress, mini fridge, a laptop chained to the table. I tucked her in, stroking damp curls. Sleep, mi amor. Mama's got watch. Her eyes fluttered shut, trusting. God, let that trust hold. Coffee brewing, black, scalding, I slotted the USB into the laptop. Password prompt, our wedding date, July 14, 15. Files bloomed, maps, encrypted PDFs, audio clips. First, coordinates, 38.8904 degrees north, 77.0353 degrees west, DC, near the reflecting pool. Timestamp, today, 1400 hours. Then, ledgers, spreadsheets of wire transfers, shell companies like Aquarius Ventures and Tidal Holdings, funneled through Cayman's banks. Names jumped: Admiral Harlan Crow, my old CO from the Burke, flagged, asset compromised. And there, Vasquez, E, potential vector. Me? A vector for what? An audio file, labeled, for, burn after. Alex's voice, strained. If you're hearing this, extraction failed. The op was clean, rogue arms deal, U.S. tech to Venezuelan cartels via Crow. I embedded 6 months ago, got the manifests. But someone flipped. The hit on Rosa's place? Message. They're coming for loose ends. You, Sophia, you're not loose, you're the only pure thing. Head to the marina in Norfolk by noon tomorrow. Locker 19, key in the flower pot. Tell Crow nothing. Trust the tide. Static, then a grunt, pain. An end. Tears hot on my cheeks, I slammed the laptop shut. Crow, the man who'd pinned my eagles, mentored me through the glass ceiling of Naval Intel. Father figure after Dad's heart attack in 18. Had he sold us out? The betrayal stung deeper than any op gone south. I paced the threadbare carpet, boots silent, training die hard, mapping contingencies, evac routes, burner calls, exfil points. Sophia stirred. Mama? Hungry? Coming, bug. I scavenged granola bars, juice boxes, forcing normalcy. We played fort with couch cushions, her laughter a lifeline. But outside, the city stirred, horns, footsteps, each a potential tale. By 9 o'clock, news alerts pierced my burner. Explosion rocks Yorktown residence. Suspected gas line rupture. 1 critical, child missing. Mom. Critical. Sophia caught the word. Abuela hurt? I pulled her close. She's tough, like us. Doctors fixing her up. More lies, stacking like ammo crates. A knock, sharp, 3 raps. I froze, hand on the Glock in my ankle holster, standard issue, even off duty. Peeped the chain, delivery guy, envelope in hand. Prepaid, no return address. Inside, a key fob, scribbled note, Garage B, 12, Norfolk. 1100, come alone. Ghost. Alex's call sign. Or a trap. Tide or shore? I chose tide, pocketing it. Sophia, we're going for a drive. Adventure Part 2. The garage was a concrete tomb under the I-64 overpass, air thick with oil and exhaust. B12, a rental van, anonymous, unlocked with the fob. Inside, another envelope on the dash, photos. Me and Sophia at the zoo last month, Crow in the background, blurred but unmistakable. A thumb drive, more files, emails between Crow and Vendor 7, specs for drone swarms, our drones, naval tech, routed to hostile ports. And a voice memo from Uncle Javier, Elena, it's me. Don't trust the news. That gas leak? Bull. I saw the SUV, plates from Quantico. Crow's calling in favors. Get to the old pier, 2 o'clock. I'll cover. Click, gunfire. Screams. Cut off. Javier, my godfather, the one who taught me to shoot at 12, who'd stood in for Dad at my commissioning. Compromised too. The web tightened, suffocating. I drove south, van's engine a low growl, Sophia napping in the back with pillows I'd scavenged. Norfolk loomed, shipyard skeletal against the horizon, home, now hostile. Norfolk sprawl hit like a homecoming turned hostage, familiar streets now laced with menace. I ditched the van in a long-term lot, swapped plates with a beater sedan from the stash. Sophia munched apple slices. Mama, why no toys? This adventure's boring. Soon, bug. Heroes need patience, like when Daddy swims with sharks. She beamed, he's the best shark fighter. If only she knew. First stop, hospital in Portsmouth, under a false name, Nurse Ratched vibes, but I flashed my retired ID for leverage. Mom in ICU, tubes snaking, monitors beeping steady. Her eyes fluttered open as I leaned in, gloves off for once. Mija. Sophia. Whisper rasp. She's safe. With me. I squeezed her hand, calluses from years of IVs rough against mine. What happened, Mama? The SUV, did you see? She winced, morphine glazing her gaze. Men, after cake. Javier fought, knife, I think. Yelled run. Explosion, smelled like C4, not gas. Her grip tightened. Alex? He warned you? I nodded, throat closing. Something big. Crow's name keeps surfacing. Mom's eyes sharpened, old nurse instincts cutting through haze. Harlan. He called last week, check on Rosa. Voice funny. Don't trust. Alarm blared, nurse incoming. I kissed her forehead, rest. I'll fix this. Slipping out, scrub swapped for civvies in the stairwell, heart a war drum. Crow. Time to confront the ghost. Burner buzzed, unknown. I answered in a parking garage, echoey and empty. Vasquez. Elena, it's Reyes, from your old intel cell. Lieutenant Maria Reyes, my protege from the Burke, voice pitched low. Heard about the blast. Alex reached out yesterday, off books. Said you're holding the key to Neptune's fall. Files on Crow, treason, selling sub-schematics to Hesbos via proxies. He's holed up, but they're closing. Meet at the chapel on base, 1800 hours. Come armed. Neptune's fall, op name for a 19 exercise, but twisted now. Reyes was solid, saved my ass in a cyber drill once. Why the chapel? Safe ground. Brass won't touch holy turf. Click. I waited, trap. Or lifeline. Sophia tugged my hand, Mama, ice cream? Deflection bought time, a cone at the boardwalk, her joy a brief sunbreak. Then, to the marina, old pier, rusted hulks bobbing like forgotten memories. 2 o'clock approached, moon silvering the water. I stashed Sophia with a trusted sitter, an old chief's widow, off-grid, promising, quick errand. Glock loaded, knife sheathed, I ghosted through the fog. The pier creaked underfoot, waves slapping pilings like accusations. A figure detached from shadows, Javier, bandaged arm and sling, face haggard. Chica. Hug bone-crushing. Tio. Mom said. Alive. Bullet grazed. Those bastards, Crow's crew, thought they'd silence us. He pressed a notebook into my hands, sketches, dates, meets at a yacht club in Hampton. Alex fed me scraps. Crow's running, shadow tide, laundering tech for cash, your sub-sonar upgrades to the highest bidder. He used your access codes, backdoored during that favor audit last year. My stomach dropped. The audit, Crow asking for quick review of my files. Betrayal's knife twisted deeper. Why us? Mom's place? Leverage. To flush Alex. He was closing in, proof in that drive. Javier glanced seaward, boat motors distant. Go to the chapel. I'll run interference. Headlights pierced the mist, 2 sets, closing fast. Go. I bolted, feet pounding planks, notebook clutched like a grenade. Tires squealed behind, shouts. A shot cracked, suppressor whisper, splintering wood. I vaulted a railing, splashing into shallows, swimming low like Alex taught. Surfaced in the lee of a buoy, lungs burning, watching taillights fade. Javier's voice echoed faint, over here, cabrons. Diversion bought me breath. Dawn found me at a diner off base, burner charging, news looping, Admiral Crow denies involvement in domestic incident. Lies. I called Reyes, confirmed meet. But doubt gnawed, was she shore or tide? The chapel on JEB Little Creek Fort story loomed modest, steeple piercing low clouds. I arrived early, Glock concealed, positioning in a pew with sightlines. Sophia safe, texted update, all good, bug. Be home soon. Lies again. Reyes slipped in at 17:55, plainclothes, eyes scanning. Captain. Handshake firm. Talk. I slid the notebook across. She flipped pages, whistling low. This matches what Alex sent. Neptune's fall, Crow's laundering op, using vet consultancies as fronts. Your mom's blast was payback for Javier sniffing too close. Alex infiltrated as consultant, got the manifests, but Crow flipped the script, painting him as the mole. And me? Collateral. Your intel access made you the perfect patsy. Reyes leaned in, he's got a mole in Langley now, some spook named Harlan. Wait, no, that's Crow himself. Wait, her phone chirped, she paled. Compromise. We move, now. Doors burst, MPs, badges flashing. Hands up. Admirals' orders. Reyes drew, I covered. Chaos, shots exchanged, pews splintering. I tackled her behind the altar, returning fire, 2 down, clean. Tide. I yelled. We bolted rear exit, into the woods, base trails I knew blind. Reyes panted, safe house in Virginia Beach. Alex is there, wounded, but alive. Wounded. The word hollowed me. We evaded patrols, stealing a jeep, racing coastal roads as rain lashed. Every mile, My mind replayed fragments. Alex's laugh at Sophia's ballet recital, his hand in mine during my promotion dinner. If Crow had twisted that, I'd drown him myself. The safe house was a fisherman's shack on the back bays, reeking of brine and bait. Alex met us at the door, gaunt, sling on his shoulder, but eyes alight. Capitana. His good arm pulled me close, lips brushing my temple. You came. Always. Kiss fierce, tasting salt, tears or sea. Sophia, I'd looped the sitter, was en route. Reyes posted watch. We collapsed on cots, spilling the torrent. The drive, you got it? His voice gravel. Everything. Crow, the subs, the fronts. Why not go official? NCIS? He laughed bitter. Crow's got the Admirals Club in his pocket. Mike Consulting was cover for internal audit, DOD greenlit, but he sniffed it. Framed me as seller, you as accomplice. The call? I was in his DC office, bugged, slipping the drive to a runner. Explosion time to cover tracks. And Mom? Javier? Bait. To draw you out. His fingers traced my wedding band. I couldn't let them take you. Reyes interrupted. Intel drop. Crow's calling a meet at the yacht club, 2200 hours. Thinks Javier's spilling. We flip it, record, call in feds. Risky. But tied. We geared up, vests, wires, my Navy-issued Beretta steady. Sophia arrived, hugging Alex. Daddy. You okay? He masked pain, like a champ, Mija. Hero time. Left her with Reyes' team, solid. Yacht club gleamed opulent, slips lined with hulls like sleeping leviathans. We infiltrated via dinghy, fog our ally. Crow waited in the clubhouse, silver hair haloed by lamps, nursing scotch with two goons, ex-marines, by the builds. Javier, cuffed to a chair, bloodied but spitting, you sold your soul, Harlan. For what? Yacht money? Crow chuckled, patriotism's expensive, Vasquez. Shadow tide keeps America ahead, tech to allies, not enemies. Lie thin as oil slick. We burst in, me first, weapon trained. Drop it, Admiral. Game's up. His eyes widened, then narrowed. Elena. The vector. Goons drew, firefight erupted, glass shattering, rounds pinging brass. I dropped one, Alex the other, precision like old times. Crow bolted for the dock. Javier freed, we pursued. Rain sheeted, deck slick. He spun, pistol raised. You think you know duty? I built careers, yours included. By selling our edge? I advanced, steady. Sub-sonar to terrorists? That's not duty. That's treason. He fired wild. Alex took the graze, shoving me aside. I returned, leg shot, down. Feds swarmed, Reyes call, cuffing him as he spat curses. You'll regret this, Vasquez. The club protects its own. Not anymore. Back at the shack, dawn breaking, we debriefed. Mom stabilized, Javier stitching himself with fisherman's kit. Sophia curled between us, oblivious to the win. Alex squeezed my hand. We build from here. But shadows lingered. Crow talked, plea deals spilling more names, a network unraveling. My career? Under review, but cleared. Valor in the breach. Months blurred, inquiries, testimonies, the grind of justice. Crow pled out, 30 years Leavenworth. His network crumbled, 6 admirals sidelined, tech recovered from black markets. I testified in closed session, voice steady, recounting the call that saved us. One voice in the dark, I said. That's what holds the line. Alex healed slow, PT sessions where I'd spot him, our banter masking fear. Think Sophia let me teach her to shoot before she teaches me ballet? We'd laugh, but nights, his nightmares woke us, echoes of framed betrayals. Sophia thrived, oblivious, her drawings now of super spy families, battling dragons. Mom recovered, bungalow rebuilt with VA grants, her garden blooming defiant. Javier? Back to his boat, grizzled guardian. One evening, porch swing creaking, Sophia asleep inside, Alex and I watched fireflies dance. Think we're past it, he murmured. No. But through it. I leaned in, his head on my shoulder, role reverse, tender. Tide carries us. And it did. Promotions came, me to Rear Admiral Select, Alex to Training SEAL hopefuls. Family dinners echoed with toasts, not tension. But the scars? They remind. That call, grab our daughter and run, wasn't just warning. It was love's last stand. In a world of shadows, it's the light we choose. In the end, it's not the explosions or the chases that define us. It's the call you answer, the hand you hold through the fire. If Alex's voice saved me that night, mine saves others now. Valor isn't loud. It's the quiet choice to run toward the storm. For Sophia. For us. For the shield we all carry. Te amo, always. Fade to black.